everybody. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome back, or if it's your first time, welcome. I'm going to guide you through, if you'll join me, in some breath practice. And so it's a mindfulness-based breath practice. And so researchers have showed us, for decades, that being really present in our lives helps to create greater meaning in our lives. And so what that means then is it's important to get off of automatic pilot. We so often we go to point A and point B through our lives. We're going to work and back, or going to the yard and back, or to the field and back, or to the store and back, and we don't even know how we got there. We just know we got there and we're carrying groceries back from the store and putting them in the cupboards, and next thing we know we're sitting at the table having dinner, and we don't even really know all the details in between those 2 points. And so what researchers showed us, right, is that if we're missing most of our lives, if we're not savoring our lives, we're missing out on all the good parts too. So rather than just having a memory of the high points and the low points in our day or in our life, we start to have these moments of mindfulness through our day, these drops of mindfulness through our day, where we're actually present and paying attention. And what they've shown is that, happiness grows, and this depth of fulfillment in our lives grows. Just from that, we're paying attention to what's right in front of us. And so, how about come on into a practice with me where we're breathing fully. Often if we're on automatic pilot too, that usually indicates we have some pattern stress in our bodies, which usually means we're not breathing fully. We're usually breathing up in this area. Our lungs are all the way down, right? If we're just giving this much of our lungs breath, bring it all the way down. Our lungs really hold grief too. So it's really important to open that up, and also not just process grief, but also let, which might be scary, hey, to be able to process it. But what I would suggest is it's more damaging to hold it in. When we get stressed, we've learned how to hold stress in our bodies, usually from our families or our environment. So it might be that we hold stress in our family in our shoulders. I know for me and my family, we held it in migraines. And maybe call it an accident or not, but over 2 decades ago, when I started meditating, maybe 25 or so years ago, all of a sudden my migraines went away. They just dropped away. Happy accident, or maybe the meditation has something to do with it. So letting go of any notion of what meditation in your mind is, and just consider it a practice in learning how to breathe more fully, not just here, breathing right into our bodies. So you can even put your hands on the sides of your chest and just breathing open. So see how the hands are moving. Rather than the shoulders breathing up and down, the shoulders stay static while my breath expands the ribs. And so see if you can practice that with yourself. And you can do that continue after this particular practice to do that. But I'm inviting you into that place right now where you can breathe more fully right into the base of your belly. So to let that pelvis relax, maybe that means relaxing your thighs, your glutes, and your thighs. So your buttock and your thighs helps us to drop into our pelvic girdle a bit more. And so hands, it can be wherever you choose. They can be in your lap or on your legs. It doesn't matter. A position that is comfortable for you is perfect. Might even be laying down. So taking a deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out through the mouth. Letting the shoulders relax. Let the tongue relax against, just away from the teeth, even just a bit. Elongate the spine, so the back of the neck even. Just imagine it's just stretching long. And so just imagining like you're sitting on a throne, this regal position. Breathing here. And regardless of the sounds around you, I know I have some around me now, and just regardless, the life is going to happen, and so we can just choose to drop our gaze downward, maybe even close the eyes if that's comfortable for you. And then as is comfortable, drop your breath into your belly. Expand your chest. Train your mind to be here. We want to be present in our lives so we don't miss out on it. This is how we grow happiness, how we feel more fulfilled in our life, is if we get off of automatic pilot so that everything that's in front of us we actually experience. It's not zipping by us. We don't miss that. That flower seedling that is birthing through the ground, or that kernel that we planted that's starting to sprout. We actually notice it. Maybe it's a sunset, or the joy of a child around you. Noticing what they're loving in this moment might be very different than the last moment. Never mind yesterday or last year. Anyone who has young children or grandchildren knows how quickly, or children in general around you, knows how quickly their interests shift. And so just for now, letting yourself be in the mind of a child where they're very present with whatever's in front of them, loving what they love, just for the joy of it. Not because it's what they loved yesterday, but what's sparking joy in them today. Maybe it's the giggle with a kitten that is doing something that just strikes them funny, that they would have missed if they weren't present. Maybe they're laying on the ground watching a seed grow, or watching a bug walk across the surface of the earth, or watching a blade of grass and a ladybug. Just seeing the incredible universe that is just, even, as Thich Nhat Hanh would say, this whole universe that opens, this whole mystery that opens when you focus just on a blade of grass even. You notice the textures and the way that the sun shines on it. It's all pretty miraculous that we exist at all. So breathing here together. In this moment, with each exhalation, letting your body relax. With each inhalation, feeling that fresh life force breathe in. Fresh, oxygenated bodies. Right here. And as we move more into the world, just like spring, as we begin to birth more, things get germinated. What is it that you want to germinate this spring? Not what you germinated last spring. You're different than you were last spring. And I would suggest in this after these past few months of being indoors, you are very different than you were before. So challenging yourself not to try to squeeze in to old patterning, old automatically trying to fit into your old way of being. It might be uncomfortable because you are not who you were. The world is not how it was. And that might be scary. Take a deep breath. Breathe out through the mouth. Just breathing here and then breathe in and out through the nose. Grounding breath. What we know for sure is everything changes, always. Not just this year, always. And so it requires us to let go of control of what we cannot control. So the outer world we can't control. We can't control what our neighbor plants in their garden or in their land. We can't control how our friend greets us or the person driving in front of us. We can't control that. What we can control is how we respond to the world around us. We can control that. And how we control that, our perception, is by being really present here. When we're present, we get off of automatic pilot. We're not just knee-jerk reacting our way through our life. We're actually pausing, taking a breath. When something in us gets triggered, when the person in front of us is driving really slow and we have someplace we want to be, we take a breath. Recognize what's the sensation in the body. Maybe our chest starts to tighten because we're frustrated. Maybe we're impatient with ourselves in our lives and it's getting triggered by that slow driver. Funny how that happens, right? Strangers can trigger us. They don't know us. It's not personal, and yet, wow, they can trigger us. And so we can recognize it's not personal. For the most part, nobody's doing anything intentionally to hurt us. It's not personal. So when it feels personal, we take a breath. Bring attention inward. Notice where we experience that trigger. That helps to take us off of automatic pilot, where we might react rather than respond. Maybe we react with frustration or sadness or whatever it is. So instead of falling into the old patterns, just like now after this time inside, we're not bringing the same person, the same desires, the same longings forward. We are different. So what is it that you choose for yourself now? So beginning to be in touch with yourself, your inner self, and in this small way, breathing with yourself to get in touch with who are you now? What do you long for now? What are your intentions for yourself and your beloveds now? What seeds do you want to cultivate now? Maybe you know lots of them, maybe you don't. And that's okay, just being here. And so, you notice there's some sound around. There's always going to be disturbances in our life. And so we can't control our neighbors. We can't control those around us. We can be angry, or we just sort of come back to ourselves here. Take a breath. Smile. We have this precious gift that is our lives. We are sacred beings, sacred to the core. Even if you've been beating yourself up about something you said or did that was misinterpreted, not exactly how you meant. Maybe it hurt someone's feelings. It wasn't personal for them. it wasn't your intention. So you maybe apologize, but then you come back and you forgive yourself and you begin again. So all of these ways that we make things personal in our lives, you know, just like it wasn't personal towards whatever in the world we've done to frustrate or disappoint someone. It wasn't personal. We're doing our best. And we come back to ourselves again and again with great forgiveness, with great kindness. Take a deep breath. Out the mouth. In the nose. Out the mouth. In the nose. Out the mouth. And you ask yourself, what's one way that I could cultivate and bring forth and germinate even one of the seeds of intention that I choose for myself today? How can I be kind to this sacred garden today? And so I would suggest that you already did, for me, an act of kindness just by being here with me. Because when we do that for ourselves, oh, the benefits ripple into the world. And everyone around you feels them. Your beloveds, even me. Yeah, and everyone else in the world. So thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here. And as best you can, every step of the way, let compassion be your co-pilot. Have a beautiful day, everybody.